Hey there, cats and kitties. I am the Blues Man, Johnny Blues, and with this video I wanted to answer a recurring question I've had crop up a few times over the last couple of days, coinciding with the fall 2016 season of anime just having begun, with some recurring series and returning series, as well as some brand new episode ones, a few of which are still yet to debut as of the time of this recording. But effectively, I've had a few people asking about specific shows. Would I be covering them? Will I please cover them? And things of that sort. And I just kind of wanted to put it out there, my own 2 cents on why I'm not going to be covering a small handful of series. And what it really comes down to is just I need to be compelled to want to talk about a series or an episode after I've watched it. Stick to whatever gives me that passionate excitement to want to talk about. Otherwise, I feel like there's not much that I can really say. I don't want to just recap an episode, what happened, and just say, yeah, that was cool, it seems interesting. And so I don't want to waste people's time by trying to hype things up and do that in a sort of faux format where I'm not really that excited about it, or I don't feel that compelled to talk about it. But there are a handful of series that this season I will actually be watching. I just have yet to feel compelled to make any videos talking about. And I kind of wanted to lay them out for those who've been asking. You've got Show by Rock Season 2, as well as Mobile Suit Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans Season 2. These are 2 shows that I covered their entirety of the first seasons of them. I loved them, loved having a discussion every week. And at least for the returning first episodes of each of them, I just wasn't really ultimately compelled to talk about them. Show by Rock, I'm really leaving the door open as it continues. I may change my mind. I may want to actually come on and talk about. But with, Iron-Blooded Orphans, it's one of those things where the resounding feeling I had after watching that first episode was being really bogged down by a lot of the bureaucratic nonsense, a lot of the expositionary information about what's going on with Cordelia and what's going on with Teiwaz and all that kind of stuff with our main characters, Mikazuki, Orga, and everything like that. It just was really bogged down with a lot of expositionary information that I frankly don't want to have to remember. I don't want to have to remember all of that stuff and come on and have to, talk about it in great detail. I'm much more driven by the characters and the emotions and the things going on affecting them personally. I'd rather focus on that, and there really wasn't a lot of that, at least in the first episode. Who knows? It's another situation where I may change my mind and I may end up wanting to come on and talk about it a little more in the future. But at least for the first episodes of each of these, again, Show by Rock Season 2 and Iron-Blooded Orphans Season 2, I just don't have that compelling, want to talk about them. Another show is Yuri on Ice, which was recommended to me, and I was actually pretty intrigued by the choreography of the ice skating. Looks spectacular based on the PVs I've seen and everything like that. In watching that episode, it's actually going to be the one exception on my list here of shows that I've dropped outright, because I didn't like the sort of chibi, cutesy, funny cutaway moments that they had in the first episode. If it was straight-laced drama, a character piece, like was my impression going in, I might have had a difference of opinion. But I really didn't I didn't feel that it meshed well, cutting to these little chibi cutouts of the main character, giving you a back history on everything. They could have had those moments without all the cutesy, funny hilarity that to me contrasted in a negative way against the dramatic sort of, outlying rest of everything that was going on. The most recent episode that just came out today was Three Gatsu no Lion, and I was really highly anticipating this. If you go back to my fall 2016 interests video, this was one that I said I was really highly interested in. And it's not that I didn't enjoy the first episode. I actually really loved a lot of the musical interludes and things like that. The main character doesn't say anything for like the first half of the episode, and you see him playing shoji and playing with this elder gentleman, and then there's like a news broadcast where somebody got bludgeoned to death, and he's kind of equating beating the guy in the game to killing him, and you see that the main character is just entirely miserable until he gets involved with these 3 sisters who are, I guess, friends of his, acquaintances in any case. He's trying to blow them off at first, that he doesn't want to be invited over for curry, and I mean, there's a lot going on, but it didn't strike me with any sort of compulsion to want to talk about. And I definitely feel like I want to watch more of it, see where it goes, see if there's anywhere for it to go. It seemed like a coming-of-age kind of a story, and of course the MC is very depressive and seems unsatisfied with his life. He goes to sleep in tears. So it seems like there's going to be some emotion to it. I just didn't get that resoundingly with the first episode. Another series that I'm actually head over heels for is Brave Witches, which is one that I said I might have interest in. And I actually really do. It's really scratching that Kantai collection Kankole itch that I've been, missing. And, I know Brave Witches is a spin-off to the series Strike Witches, which is one that I want to eventually catch up on. I'm going to be watching Brave Witches very excitedly every week, but not excitedly enough, not passionate enough to really want to discuss it. The only thing I could really say about the first episode is that it really resoundingly reminded me of the first episode of Kankole. So, I mean, I'm not going to dedicate an entire video to just recapping what happens and saying that's what it reminded me of, and I'm really happy with that. I really like that, I don't want to waste your guys' time effectively talking about something that I just don't feel compelled to. Another series is Drifters. Absolutely am compelled by the artistic style. I think the character style and designs is all kinds of awesome. I'm intrigued by the premise. A lot of historical characters are going to be cropping up. It kind of has a Fate Zero kind of thing, I think, from what I've been told. I haven't seen the Fate series as of yet. A couple episodes, did I watch of that. But the idea of actually having a nice play on history and bringing all these historical figures into this alternate world where they'll be either banding together or fighting amongst each other, I mean, that sounds promising. The animation style is unique, kind of harkens to, something like out of the Animatrix, and I just think it looks awesome. But again, I didn't really have much to say after watching the first episode. I don't feel like it's worthy dedicating an entire video to just saying what I've already said about it. It's kind of like the Animatrix. The animation style is cool. Historical figures, thumbs up. That doesn't feel like it's worth a whole video of its own. Another series that was actually recommended to me was Flip Flappers, and this was the first episode I was mind-boggled by. It's very intriguing. It really reminds me of a sort of toned-down Fooly Cooly or FLCL, for those who are familiar with that series. The style is bonkers. It kind of has a weird Alice in Wonderland-y kind of premise, and I'm intrigued by it. And really, that's all I can say about it. Not worth dedicating an entire video toward, but I will be watching. I've already mentioned Iron-Blooded Orphans and Show by Rock. Another series that just began was Occultic 9, and it's from the creator of Steins Gate, which I just got done watching the entirety of that series. And so I was kind of hyped by that, but quite frankly, the first few minutes into Occultic 9, the first episode, I had a headache because everyone's talking so super fast about they're saying so much and really not talking about anything in particular. And so I feel like that's going to be a series worth marathoning rather than watching it episodically. And that's kind of, that's the handful of series I'm going to be watching. There's a few more here or there, short episodes and things like that are on my anime list. If you want to see what I'm watching, quite frankly, go over to my anime list. The link is usually in every description of my video, or you can find it on my YouTube channel homepage. I have every show that I'm watching, for the most part, listed there. There are a few that I'm not decided on yet. Long Riders was one. It kind of has a cute first episode, but I don't know if it's really something I want to dedicate my time toward. There's this one Girlish number or Gyarlish number, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, about an aspiring seiyuu or, voice actress, and a lot of kooky characters. I watched the first episode of that. Not really sure if I'm ready to commit to it enough to put it on my anime list. But, for the most part, I have everything listed that I'm going to be watching, whether or not I'm actually doing reviews on them. And just to answer that question, why am I not, covering Iron-Blooded Orphans? Why am I not covering Drifters or Three Gatsu no Lion? I just, for various reasons, whatever the case may be, I didn't feel ultimately compelled and ultimately excited about coming on and turning on the camera and talking about them recapping for the most part, not really having much unique to say. If you look like, the first episode of Classicaloid, which I put up a video on, I was really uber stoked to talk about that, and I'm laughing my whole way through that review because I'm still feeling those emotions. I'm still writing how I felt watching that show. And by the end of some of these series, it's just like, okay, I'm in the moment when I'm watching them, but by the time I'm done, it's gone. That feeling, any sensation I have is gone, and it's not worth coming on and talking about something I just don't have enough to say about. I don't want to sit here and just sort of and ooh and make things up as I go and give you a false sense of my having an interest in something enough to talk about it. Doesn't mean I don't have an interest at all. It's just I need to have that drive. I need to have that spark to drive me to want to talk about certain series. And just because I'm not covering it doesn't mean I don't like it, doesn't mean I'm not watching it. Hopefully with some of these series, maybe I'll come on at some point and end up doing a discussion. Maybe I'll wait till the series are over and do an overview, full series review kind of thing. Like I did with Steins Gate. I watched it in its entirety and dedicated a video to that, as well as 91 Days and things of that sort. Sometimes it's better to talk about them cumulatively when they're over rather than episodically. And I feel like most of these series are, at least for me for now, falling into that framework. And so yeah, otherwise that'll be pretty much it for me on this. Hope this video finds you well, and I'll catch you all later. Peace.